Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has once again captured attention with his reaction to the recent understanding reached between the United States and Iran. Bennett argues that although Israel achieved significant military success, the government of Benjamin Netanyahu failed to convert those achievements into lasting political and strategic gains. However, this does not mean Bennett represents an alternative vision when it comes to Palestine or Iran. If anything, his positions are often viewed as even more hardline than Netanyahu's. For nearly 2 decades, Benjamin Netanyahu has stood at the center of Israeli politics. His political doctrine has revolved around 3 key objectives: limiting the prospects of a Palestinian state, expanding Jewish settlements in the occupied West Bank, and portraying Iran as Israel's foremost security threat in the Middle East. Through this strategy, Netanyahu not only strengthened the role of security politics within Israel, but also increasingly reframed the Palestinian issue as a security problem rather than a political one. Bennett's vision is regarded by many critics as even more uncompromising. They argue that his approach seeks to permanently suppress Palestinian aspirations for self-determination and deny them meaningful political rights in their own homeland, effectively relegating them to a second-class status indefinitely. In that sense, while Bennett and Netanyahu may be political rivals, but their fundamental outlook on the Palestinian question remains remarkably similar. According to critics, the current situation in the West Bank is not an isolated phenomenon. Rather, it is a part of a long-term reality in which Palestinian presence is steadily weakened while Israeli control becomes increasingly entrenched. Israel maintains that such measures are necessary for security reasons. Yet, international human rights organizations have repeatedly warned that these developments could contribute to an even deeper humanitarian crisis in the future. On Iran, Bennett appears even more hawkish than Netanyahu. In a recent appearance on the talk show Piers Morgan Uncensored, he declared, "I'm gonna be your worst nightmare ever."
And I want to tell the Iranian regime from here, the regime, I'm going to be your worst nightmare ever. I won't relent until we free your people, ensure you don't have a nuclear weapon, so you've got no hope. We won't let up on this effort because it's fighting for our freedom, for our security, and for the benefit of the entire Middle East.
The remark reinforced his long-standing position that Iran represents the greatest strategic challenge facing Israel and that confronting Tehran should remain a top national priority. Therefore, whenever Israel's next election takes place, and regardless of who ultimately occupies the seat of power in Tel Aviv, many observers believe the country's broader regional posture is unlikely to undergo a fundamental transformation. Netanyahu's potential successors may differ in personality and political style, but on the core issues of Palestine, Iran, and Israel's rule in the Middle East, the gaps between them appear relatively narrow. This reality continues to fuel concerns across the region and beyond. Will Palestinians ever see a stable and viable political future? Can the cycle of conflict in the Middle East truly be broken? And what shape will the region's future political order ultimately take? For now, those questions remain unanswered, left, perhaps, to the judgment of history and the passage of time.